Hello everyone, welcome back to Digital Learning DCE. Myself Dr. Manjula S, working as Assistant Professor of Botany in Government First Grade College, Ramnagara. In today's session, let us study about vascular tissues part 2 with reference to structure and functions of phloem. Last session we studied about structure and function of xylem. In today's session, let us study about structure and functions of phloem. So, as I already told, vascular tissues are type of complex tissues since they are made up of with different types of cells which are performing similar functions which are restricted to vascular bundles of the plant system. Hence, they are referred as vascular tissues. The vascular tissues primarily consist of xylem and phloem, which are also known as complex tissue since made up of with the complex cells, and they are also called as conducting tissue since they are involved in conduction of food and water. Here we can observe the vascular tissues restricted to vascular region of a plant where the xylem and phloem present in the stellar region. Then coming to the types, the vascular tissues are of two types, xylem and phloem. Xylem present towards the pith, whereas phloem present towards the cortex, where both of them get separated by a meristematic tissue called cambium, where xylem helps in conduction of water and phloem helps in translocation of food. So this is the longitudinal section of xylem and phloem are conducting tissues, where the xylem helps in conduction of water from the root to other part of the plant, upward movement, whereas the phloem helps in translocation, transfer of food material from the mesophyll tissue that is referred as a source to the sink where it is required to different organs of the plant. So xylem helps in conduction of water, whereas the phloem helps in translocation of food materials. Let us study the phloem in detail. Phloem is a type of complex tissue which is always remains in close association with the xylem. This phloem is, since it is a complex tissue, it is made up of 4 different types of basic cells which are like phloem parenchyma, sieve tubes, companion cells and phloem fibers. They have specialized functions. Phloem in plant system have specialized functions like translocation of food materials from the source. Source is nothing but the region where the food is synthesized. So it is the mesophyll tissue which is involved in synthesis of food material, that is referred as a source, whereas the sink is nothing but the region where the food is required, it is utilized, that is referred as a sink. So phloem is a specialized tissue which is involved in translocation of food material from the region of source to the sink, and due to the presence of phloem fibers and other secondary wall thickening, it also gives mechanical strength to the plant where they present. So here we can observe the phloem tissue provided with the outer lining of parenchyma cell, phloem parenchyma cells, and sieve tube elements, sieve tube members. Sieve tubes are present where they are accompanied by companion cells, and there is a plasmodesmatal connection between the cells. So this is the enlarged view of phloem tissue, where it is made up of with 4 different types of cells, basic cells called phloem parenchyma, which is always towards the outer region, towards the outermost vertical layer. So it is, there is also companion cells which will give company to the sieve tubes, hence the name companion cells in conduction. So these are phloem fibers and these are sieve tube elements. So these are the perforation plates in the sieve tubes which generally act as a channel between cell to cell translocation. Then coming to the basic components of phloem. In the last slide only I told there are 4 main basic cells which are together forms the phloem tissue, that is sieve elements, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. So in this diagram we can observe the sieve tube member, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fiber. So this is the sieve cell. It is an elongated narrow lumen. Sieve cell is a single cell, elongated narrow lumen with the pits, sieve areas, referred as sieve areas. Whereas this is a sieve tube element with sieve plate on their end wall, with oblique end wall, and they are provided with the nucleus. So in this 4 basic type of cells present in the phloem, only the phloem fibers are dead, remaining all the 3 are living only. Whereas in case of xylem, except xylem parenchyma, all other 3 cells are dead. Whereas in case of phloem, except phloem fibers, remaining 3 basic cells are dead in nature. Let us study all the components of phloem in detail. The first one is phloem parenchyma. The parenchyma cells associated with the phloem, other than albuminous cells and companion cells, they are referred as phloem parenchyma, which occur in both primary phloem as well as in the secondary phloem, where the primary phloem is originated from procambium and secondary phloem is originated from cambium. More or less rectangular or rounded in cross section. When we take a cross section of the phloem tissue, we can observe the phloem parenchyma is rectangular in cross section. Let us study the components of phloem tissue one by one in detail. The first one is phloem parenchyma. The parenchyma cells other than the albuminous and companion cells associated with the phloem are referred as phloem parenchyma, which occurs in both primary as well as in secondary phloem. So primary phloem is formed from procambium and secondary phloem is from cambium. They more or less rectangular or rounded in their cross section. When we take the cross section of the phloem tissue, we can observe the phloem parenchyma are rounded or rectangular shaped cells. Whereas in case of longitudinal section, it appears like elongated cells with both the ends rounded or pointed, which may also appear as a rectangular or cylindrical in shape. They have living protoplast and nucleus, hence they are living cells. Here we can observe the longitudinal section of phloem, where we can see on either side the phloem parenchyma, in between companion cells and sieve tube members. This is the sieve tube member. This is the individual cells of the phloem, individual components of the phloem, where we can observe the sieve tubes with end perforation plate. They are provided with the sieve plate. And these are the companion cells. The light green color cells are companion cells, which are always associated with the sieve tubes, which will give company in translocation. And these are referred as parenchyma cells, whose structure in their cross section are little bit circular or rectangular in shape. Then move on to the functions of phloem parenchyma. The active phloem parenchyma generally helps in storage of fat and starch. It accumulates, along with the fat and starch, it accumulates resins and tannins, where phloem transfer cells helps in short distance transport of solute. In many plants, it gives rise to a tissue called a layer called phloem, from which a protective tissue called periderm is going to be developed during the secondary growth of a plant. The cell walls of some inactive phloem parenchyma, they get thickened by the lignin deposition, and due to this thickness, they are involved in giving mechanical strength to the organ where they occur. So here Also we can observe this is a sieve plate of sieve tube element, and this is the phloem parenchyma, which is usually towards outside, and next to the sieve tube there are companion cells. Then coming to the second component of phloem tissue, that is companion cells. These are densely cytoplasmic nucleated parenchyma cells. That means they are also the living cells. They are always associated with sieve tubes of angiosperms. They are vertically elongated angular cells in cross section. If you take a cross section, they are elongated and they look like the shell shape is angular in nature. They are narrow and thin walled. They have prominent nuclei, hence they are also living nuclei at maturity with dense cytoplasm and abundant cell organelles. These companion cells are present in most dicots and monocots, but absent in some primitive woody dicotyledons, gymnosperms, and also pteridophytes. In gymnosperms, the associated parenchyma with sieve cells are termed as albuminous cells. Instead of companion cells, in case of lower plants like gymnosperms and pteridophytes, the parenchyma cells associated with the sieve tubes are referred as the albuminous cells. Here we can observe the cross section of companion cells. This is a vertical section where always sieve tube is associated with the nearby cells called companion cells, which are with the densely packed cytoplasm and other cell organelles. Then coming to functions of companion cells, they are the active sites of protein synthesis. They keep sieve tubes always alive by providing nutrients, since they are always aligned with the sieve tubes. They provide the nutrients to the sieve tubes. The endoplasmic reticulum, plastids, and other organelles, along with plasmodesmatal connections, they form the route through which the sucrose is transferred to the neighboring cells. Since they contain many mitochondria, so generally involved in respiration, they provide energy for translocation of solutes. Since they are provided with rich number of mitochondria, they provide energy for the sieve tubes for translocation. Then coming to albuminous cells, I already told the cells associated with sieve tubes in case of lower forms like gymnosperms, they are referred as albuminous cells. These are densely cytoplasmic nucleated parenchyma cells associated with sieve cells of gymnosperms. They are the characteristic features of gymnosperms, which are vertically elongated and maybe same length of sieve cells, or sometimes even shorter also. The end walls may be oblique, and they are tapered. The cell wall is thin. There is a connection with associated sieve cells. Always they get connected with the sieve cells. The cells containing protein-rich cytoplasm and stained deeply with cytoplasmic stains, and so designated as albuminous cells. So here we can observe dark colored stained cells with living nucleus in protoplasm. They are said to be albuminous cells, which are always associated with the sieve cells of lower plants like gymnosperms. Coming to third component of phloem, that is phloem fiber. Fiber occurs in association with phloem are referred as bast fiber. They are elongated in shape, very long cells where the cell wall is thick and lignified. Here we can observe the phloem fiber associated with phloem tissue, which is much longer, elongated with thick lignified wall. They are considered as dead cells, and they contain, why? Because they considered as dead because they contain no living protoplast when they get matured. Hence, these are the only cells which are dead in phloem tissue. Remaining all other three are living. The septate fibers contain starch, oils, resins, calcium oxalate crystals, etc., where the phloem fibers with their interlocked ends they are connected, they are arranged in such a way that one above the other or one below the other, where the interlock ends forms a strong strand and provide, since they are provided with lignin thickening, they provide mechanical strength to the organ where they occur. They protect the inner tissues like cambium when occur as cylinders in cylindric form. When they occur, they protect the inner tissues of cambium. They also play a role in transport of solutes. Septate fibers may also store starch, oils, etc. Then coming to the fourth component of phloem tissue, that is sieve elements. Sieve cells and sieve tube members, together known as the sieve elements. These are the main conducting elements of the phloem tissue, which are characterized by the presence of sieve areas and absence of nuclei when they mature. Sieve element is the collective term for sieve cell and sieve tube, which are distinguished on the basis of sieve areas. How we can distinguish both means sieve elements means together sieve cell and sieve tube element, sieve element, sieve tube together known as sieve elements, where we can distinguish them based on the sieve areas and sieve plates present at their end walls. Let us study the sieve cells. Sieve cell is a phloem element of pteridophytes and gymnosperms, which is present in non-flowering plants. Sieve cell is a type of sieve element present in non-flowering plants like pteridophytes and gymnosperms, which is arranged longitudinally, where the cells are single and elongated in their shape, and they are provided with the taper ends. Both the ends are tapered. They don't have distinct end wall. The cell wall is thin and made up of cellulose, where the perforations are present on the walls called sieve areas. In case of sieve cell, the openings, the elevations or perforations are referred as sieve areas. Sieve cells are living. Nucleus is absent at maturity. When they are young, they are living, but their nucleus is absent when they got matured. In contrast to the sieve tube, sieve cells are devoid of companion cells. Compared to the sieve tube, sieve cells lack the companion cells, but they are always associated with albuminous cells, which are the special type of protein parenchyma cells, which store the protein, which stay in darker color. So, which is the characteristic feature of gymnosperms. Sieve cells are generally present in gymnosperms. Coming to sieve tube members, these are thin-walled, living, enucleated. That means they lack nucleus. Conducting elements of angiospermic plants, flowering plants, sieve tubes are advanced over sieve cells. So they are thin-walled, living, enucleated. Even though they lack nucleus, they have living protoplast. They generally helps in conducting elements of angiospermic phloem with sieve plates. Instead of sieve areas, the sieve tubes are provided with sieve plates. The sieve tube cells that connected with each other through a sieve areas and their transverse end walls. Each cell is tube manner, arranged in a tube manner, and it is composed of cell wall, protoplasm and sieve plate. Each and every sieve tube is provided with the cell wall, the liquid called protoplasm, and at their ends they are provided with the plate-like structure with perforation referred as sieve plate. The wall of the sieve tube may be thin or thick, and it is composed of mainly cellulose and pectin. They lack the secondary wall thickening, that is lignin. Sieve plate is the region where sieve areas occur. The plate lies at the end walls of sieve tube member and is usually horizontal or oblique cross wall to the longitudinal axis of the sieve tube. The plate is always horizontal or oblique to the longitudinal axis of that particular tube, sieve tube member. Then here we can observe the sieve elements of phloem, where it is provided with, this is a sieve tube and always associated with the cell called companion cell, which will give company in translocation of food material. They are provided with the end walls, which are either oblique, and they are provided with the perforation plate called sieve plate. Here we can observe the sieve cell, which is a characteristic feature of gymnosperms, where they lack the plate-like structure. Only sieve areas are present, whereas in case of sieve tube members, sieve tube, there is a plate-like structure with perforations. They are referred as sieve plate. So here we can observe the sieve plate, which are arranged one below the other, hence it is a compound sieve plate. Here we can observe the simple sieve plate with single plate-like structure with n number of perforations. Then coming to functions of sieve elements, being major conducting cells of phloem. They are the cells which are mainly helps in conduction. They helps in long distance translocation of photosynthetic products and other organic solutes. So from source to sink, they are the cells which generally helps in translocation or conduction of food material. It stores carbohydrates and proteins. Along with the translocation, these sieve elements also store carbohydrates and proteins. Here we can observe the sieve tube elements and sieve cells, where sieve cell is an elongated structure with sieve areas, and sieve tube with sieve plate with multiple number of perforations. And this is always associated with the companion cells, whereas a sieve cell is associated with albuminous cell, associated with a special type of parenchyma called albuminous cell, whereas sieve plate is associated with the companion cell. It is the characteristic feature of angiosperms, whereas sieve cell is the characteristic feature of gymnosperms. Summary. In this session, we studied about the vascular tissue, which is otherwise known as complex tissue, since it is made up of with different types of cells performing similar function. They are also referred as conducting tissues because they aid in conduction of water and mineral nutrients. They found in vascular bundles of roots, stem and leaves. The vascular tissues are of two types, xylem and phloem, where the phloem is a food conducting tissue which is made up of 4 different basic cells like phloem parenchyma, phloem fiber, sieve tubes and companion cells, where phloem parenchyma concerned with the storage of starch, fat, tannins, resins and also in short distance transport of solutes. Xylem fibers gives mechanical support, and companion cells are active sites of the protein synthesis, and they provide energy for translocation of solutes, whereas sieve elements helps in, it generally consists of sieve cells and sieve tubes, helps in long distance translocation of food materials from the source, that is the region where food is synthesized, from the mesophyll tissue to different part of the plant where the food is required, that is referred as a sink. So the sieve elements are mainly involved in long distance translocation of food materials from source to sink. With this, I am going to conclude that in the conducting tissue there are 2 types, that is xylem and phloem, where xylem is a water conducting tissue and phloem is a food conducting tissue. Since they are made up of the different types of cells, they are referred as complex tissues. They are restricted to vasculature and generally aids in conduction, hence they are also called as conducting tissue. With this, I am going to conclude the session. For further details about the topic, you can refer the following references. Thank you.